Thanks to Hotclickmarketing for supporting this video. For more information, go to their website. On a personal level, I can't say I'm yet getting used to not being at games. Normally, I'd be down in Southampton rather than stood in front of this picture, actually, which was signed by Buzz Aldrin. And the reason why I mention that is because I got a big lift today by the news that Colonel Doug Hurley, who is in the space station up there, the ISS at the moment, who went up, of course, in the Dragon spacecraft not so long ago, who's a City fan, actually sent me a message saying that he enjoys watching the vlogs and will contribute when he can in the future. So that was great to hear from him. I'd still rather be at the games, though, of being honest. But it just shows that City have got fans all over the world and even outside the world. Well, in this vlog, you'll hear more fans from around the world. But first up, a couple of ex-City players, Andy May in just a second. But first of all, former captain Andy Morrison on how City, he believes, are doing better behind closed doors than anybody else because it suits their style.
As I predicted, Ian, people said how will it affect with no crowds, and I said, City will be the best prepared team because of the patterns they play. The methods, the rotations are, it's ingrained now in the DNA of the players. So it wouldn't affect them in any way. There's been at times where late in games, I'm sure you can remember yourself, when the crowd have been there and the crowd are baying for the ball to go into the box and City don't. They just keep moving it, they keep playing, they keep rotating, and they're waiting for the golden opportunity rather than being forced. So the crowd don't really influence them in any way. And I think we've seen that, so far, that the patterns are the same, rotations are the same, the way they play through the lines is exactly the same. So, it doesn't affect them in any way. They're almost like a machine at times with it's so familiar, the patterns they play.
Is Kevin De Bruyne emerging as City's go-to captain now? Because he wears the armband when David Silva's not playing. It just seems the natural progression for him.
I think so, yeah. I think obviously the question would be asked by the manager because it's a big thing to take, and it obviously doesn't affect his performance. And people lead in different ways. There's captains who are vociferous, there's captains who lead by example. And De Bruyne is definitely one of them. Because it's every single game, the standards are the same, and it's the way he starts the game. He's present. He's in the game. There's some players who drift in and drift out, but at the moment, game after game, you're looking for the same sort of commitment, attitude, and also the focus. And he's there every game now. As soon as he gets the ball, you're waiting for something to happen. When it's not on, he takes the easy option, but when it is, he finds the pass, and it's always the weight of pass is correct. You don't see many players check their runs or wait for the ball. It's always in front of them. It's always safe side. It's a pleasure to watch him at the minute. I put a tweet out this week saying I don't think there's a player in world football who's in better form than him. And if there is, say, a couple of people said Messi, Ronaldo, but you're looking at the past. At the present moment, De Bruyne is the best in world football. He's untouchable. And, I think all the pundits are waxing lyrical at the moment, but we've been seeing this now for a few seasons. And what we've seen in the past is, periods of great play and then maybe the odd injury and that. But at the moment, it's sustained every game. He seems to be reaching the same standards. And I guess, if you're going to be the champions and challenge on all fronts, you need your players to be in that mindset.
At the risk of tempting fate, the next three games, Southampton, Newcastle on Wednesday, Brighton, all very winnable, aren't they?
Yeah, of course they are. But, the league has shown this season, with when we went through that sticky period, we went 2-1 up with De Bruyne's goal at Newcastle. And then Shelby goes and rattles one in I think, the 90th minute, which really affected our momentum at that period. So these teams can cause upsets.
I don't think it'll be an easy game. But I think if City certainly apply themselves like they have done recently, there isn't any reason that City should be getting the 3 points.
Would you field a weaker team? And when I say weaker, I don't mean that disrespectfully, but younger team in this game?
No, not really. I think Pep's a believer in putting out his strongest side. I think we've had managers previously. Pellegrini, I think, was always an advocate of putting out a strong side, and I think Pep is the same, and that's why City have done well in the domestic cups and done well in the league. I think he believes in playing his strongest side, and I don't think that'll be any different in the Southampton game.
you think Eric Garcia could solve City's defensive issues with a partner for Laporte long term?
Well, he had as tough a test as you can probably have, playing against the best forward line in the league that's taken Liverpool to the title. So, and he performed very well. One game doesn't make you a superstar, but it was a very good start to say the least.
Hi, Ian. It's Kevin Coyne here in Tallahassee, Florida, watching like just about everyone else, watching at home, like I have been all the games since the restart.
Excited about this game against Southampton. I mean, it's on paper, it's not as exciting as Liverpool. It's not as exciting as some of the other games.
I'm excited for all the games. It's good to have them playing again. Watching City play at this point in my life. It's a good return to, I wouldn't call it normal, but it's a good escape from what's going on. So I'm excited for any game at this point. I am excited about this game. I'm excited about watching. Hopefully, I think for the rest of the season, I'd like to see Benjamin Mendy get a long run of games to really see how he plays and performs. I thought his performance against Liverpool was excellent. I know he's been at times, and I've been critical of him, many others have. I'd really like to see a good test of 8 games where he just plays straight to really see what he can do. I'd like to see the academy players get some time here. I want to see Garcia play again. Let's really see how he can play. I don't have any questions about Foden at this point. He's amazing, I think, and he's great. But the other players like Palmer and Doyle, I'd really like to see play, get some time. This is a time when there's not a title race, and all these younger guys could get a lot of valuable experience and minutes right now.
I'm in Washington, D.C., in the U.S., on the East Coast of America. That's where I'm at. About today's game, I am looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing Phil Foden play again. I hope he plays again after that performance. I'm looking forward to see Eric Garcia also play. I would like to see Jaden Braff, but he probably won't make it because he's in the youth team. I just want to see the same City that we all know that plays beautiful football. I want to see Edison keep a clean sheet because I think he can win the Golden Glove this season. If nothing else, I think it's good for him. Just want to see our team play the way they can play. I mean, our football is poetry. People talk about winning the league and not winning the league. Fine, it's fine. But when you look at what we play, and for the older fans like yourself who have been through very difficult times, it's poetry. It doesn't get better than this. And so for me, it's just about enjoying a Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon with City playing beautiful, poetic football. Yeah.
As you know, somebody up on the space station watches these vlogs. Have you got a message for Colonel Doug if he's watching?
I follow him, and I'm just, I watched the whole launch about a couple of weeks ago. I was praying for him as he went up, and I'm glad he's a City fan. I'm glad that he sent you a message from space. It's one in a million. What are the chances of it happening? I'm really, really excited about space. I love what he's doing. It's a pioneer, and all the more fans we get, the better, right?
City are out of this world, though, aren't they?
Blue moon, right? That's the next step to the moon. But it's just fantastic to have him support the club, and in such a way as well. It's just wonderful.
I think that sort of, Southampton is safe. City obviously can't get any better than what we are at the minute. So it's sort of, I don't want to use the term a nothing game, but you know what I mean. I think it's sort of these next few games are really good to bring in a few of the youngsters, give Foden some more game time. I've really enjoyed watching him play at the minute because he seems to be coming into his own. He's improved a lot. And Eric Garcia as well, he's really sort of impressing me. So I think obviously typical City style, probably part of a strong lineup, definitely. But I think he should definitely be bringing a couple of the younger ones and give them a chance.
How far would you go with that? Would you bring in players that perhaps hadn't had a chance yet, even like Jaden Braff or Cole, or somebody that you don't know as much about, just to see what they're capable of? Yeah,
definitely. I think obviously with Sade leaving, Braff's obviously a really good one to bring in. Just try a few of them out. I mean, it can't do any harm, really, can it? I mean, just give them a chance and then see how they do. There's a few games left of the season. It'll give them a lot of confidence, I think, as well. I think it'll help them out a lot. They get to know what the Premier League's all about, so you might as well.
I'm from China, and it's 12 o'clock right now, so my family is all asleep. So only me. I'll be in my living room. Then no one will disturb me, and I wouldn't disturb them too.
So you have to stay up quite late to watch this game. Then it's in the early hours of the morning.
Yeah, I think it's the same for all the fans in Asia. This is actually the first game I have time to watch since the pandemic, because I've been busy recently. It's the graduation season now, and I'm a university student ready to leave the campus. So and I really miss the football. So however City will play, whichever team it will play against, I will still be very excited.
Are there a lot of fans in China? Have you got a big supporters group?
I think so. At least in my city, Shenzhen, city right next to Hong Kong, we got a really big supporters club. Actually, it's the biggest supporters club of Man City in the China mainland. According to the statistics, I think there were about 600 members registered to the club since it was established in 2015 or 13. I don't know. I joined it in 2016 when I entered into university, and there were a lot of members by then.
It is upsetting that we can't be at the stadium, but I'm like I am for any match. I still put my shirt on. I still do the same things that I would normally do. Just, not being there, in physically sort of thing. So, I still do the things that I would normally do. So Pep will always go out to win a game no matter what. And I think he'll pick who he feels is ready for the match. He'll look at how they are in the training ground. And, I still think like this, De Bruyne and Foden and Jesus will still be part of that. Obviously, we're going to be sad to leave David Silva. And, these remaining games are really important for David. And I feel like he'll always be part of these games for, the last remaining games. Gutted Aguero's not going to be a part of it either. But yeah, I still think he will go out with his strong attacking side no matter what.
You're expecting a win today, aren't you? A good win.
Yeah, definitely. Like we should always aim for that no matter what. I mean, as part of like City Voice and doing the app and everything, I always predict the scores and I always try and predict the team. But when we played Liverpool the other day, I didn't do anything. I didn't predict a score. I didn't predict a team. I left it because I am quite a superstitious person. And this time I didn't do anything. And then it was a really funny thing. My brother decided he wanted some chocolate from the shop. And I said, just get us a bag of crisps. And when he come back, he brought him this bag of Doritos and it had sterling on it. And I thought, oh my God, is this like an omen? Like sterling's on this bag of crisps. And he obviously was a good omen because we won. So there you go. As much as we had the chances, and we did, there was a few silly mistakes. I won't mention any players because it's not fair to. But yeah, we had the chances, but Southampton's defence was brilliant tonight. Their goalkeeper kept him in it, basically. I don't know whether it's tiredness, whether it's the impact of all the games being played all at once. Arsenal will be a test, obviously. But it's one of them, one day we can beat them, next day we can't. It's typical City, as they say, isn't it?
Disappointed, to say the least, probably like everyone else. The epitome of the season. A lot of chances, a lot of possession, and no results. So I'm ready for the season to be over. Let's start over, start fresh.
Hey, hang on a minute. There's more games to come, yeah? What about Arsenal in the Cup? What about the Champions League?
The EPL season. Sorry, let me clarify. I'm ready for the Champions League. I'm ready for the FA Cup. This just seems to be how things have gone in the Premier League. We are a lot of chances. It's hard to I really think it was Southampton played extremely well. You can't deny that. They just played very well, and we just didn't finish. So it just, to me, I feel like we've been saying that a lot during this EPL season. Yeah, I'm ready for the FA Cup. I'm ready for the Champions League for sure. But the EPL, I'm about ready to say, let's start fresh. Let's start over.
The finishing was poor, and I thought Zinchenko, I'm not sure what he's thinking. I just don't understand what he's thinking. I thought it was awful, frankly. Just awful. I thought Mahrez, again, was average at best. But overall, it was just a strange game. Looks like they didn't really want it. Gabby maybe needs some help. And, I mean, to sum it up, I just don't understand this inverted wingers. I just don't understand why we played that way when in 17-18 we played with proper wingers left and right, and we were tearing our positions apart. This inverted winger with a back five, you bring the play back in and they can set. So I just don't know why we play that way with Mahrez on the right and Sterling on the left. They keep bringing the ball in. So disappointing, but within context, I mean, it's a nothing game really, but disappointing. But on to the next one.
I knew from about 10 minutes in what to expect, to be honest. It just seemed it was just one of those days. I could see it coming a mile off. I think it was just a bad day at the office. It was just going to happen, really.
Why so different between the Liverpool performance and this one?
Well, I think for a start, the lineup, obviously, with Kevin, Foden both on the bench and whatnot, and Mendy, I think that made a bit of a difference. It just seemed like we were having all of these shots on target and on the goal and whatnot, and it just wasn't happening. Just really bad day at the office.
For me today, as much as Jesus is praised for the goals against Real Madrid, etc., and his goals to games ratio that people keep going on about is fantastic. If you score 3 goals in one match and then don't score for 3 weeks, and in a month you score 3 goals in 4 games, well, no, you scored 3 goals in 1 game and you didn't score for the rest of the month. So I think goals to games ratios for me sometimes are completely and utterly misleading. And for me today, his movement, for example, he'll pick the ball up, he'll play a pass, and he'll stand there for 3 minutes and admire the pass instead of moving into the box for the cutback and hoping to tap it home. I think his positioning was poor. And you ask us the question all the time, Ian, do we need a striker? The answer is yes, we do need a striker. We can't rely on having 2 strikers and 1 striker with Aguero out. So for me today, I thought we were fantastic going forward. It was resolute. Southampton, fair play to them. Great defending from them. But I think there was a bit of luck involved in that. And, yeah, we should have won the game by a couple of goals. But on another day, we would have done.
Sergio Aguero has been phenomenal now for many, many years for us. And you're talking about one of the best strikers in the world. And when he's missing, you're missing just that little bit extra. At the end of towards the end of the game, I think it was 38 crosses we put into their box, and you're crying out for a Dzeko or a player of that, because they had 3 giants in there who gobbled everything up, and they defended for their lives. It's such a sloppy goal for us to give away. We do the fullbacks will roll into those positions when Fernandinho goes in and splits the centre halves, but we received the ball all wrong, and we were punished. But there was enough chances in the game again to take it, but we just lacked that. Lack a little bit of intensity tonight. Not quite the same. Very difficult after the the euphoria of beating Liverpool 4-0. It is hard to go again, and you need things to go your way. It didn't go our way tonight.
So that's the view of the City fans after this game. There's a small consolation to take, for me certainly. I don't face the long drive home in the wind and the rain after a defeat at Southampton, but you know what, I'd still rather be on the way back because there's nothing like being at the game. But City lose this one by 1-0. You've heard what 1 or 2 of the fans have said. Win, draw or lose, I'm always doing a vlog before and after every single Manchester City game, and that will be the same again on Wednesday when the Blues face Newcastle. Even today, when it's a bad result, it's great to be a Blue. Big shout out to the 3 companies that have supported the products that I put out under the Forever Blue title throughout the year, the podcast and the vlogs. See you all soon.